Welcome back to Objective 2 in Chapter 7. In Objective 2, we're going to take a look at calculating the volume of a rectangular prism. So first of all, let's define exactly what a prism is. The textbook defines a prism as that which is defined as a solid geometric figure whose two end faces are similar, equal and parallel rectilinear figures and whose sides are parallelograms. Well, that's wonderful, but what does all that mean? If basically you draw a two-dimensional plane figure and you now just basically pick it up and stretch it through 3 dimensions. So what I mean by that is if you look at the diagrams at the bottom here are a bunch of examples of different types of prisms. You can see they're simply just the basic shape on the top, then they're just stretched down through 3 dimensions. That's really all there is to a prism. And the way we can find the volume of a prism is to simply find the face area and then multiply it by its depth. So in this rectangular prism here, if we found the area of that hatched rectangle, now just multiply that by this depth or height if you prefer, we would get the volume of that shape. And that's the same for any prism, whether it's a hexagonal prism, triangular prism, etc., etc. Find the face area, multiply it by the depth, and we are done. So it's a lot more simple than it sounds. Okay, so that then begs the question, because we're going to be working with triangular prisms as well in power engineering, and a thing that often gets mixed up is what is the difference between a pyramid and a prism? Well, they're two different things completely. The famous Toblerone chocolate bar on the left-hand side, that is a triangular prism because we have a triangle on the end that's then stretched down through 3 dimensions. So again, any shape that's done that or has that done to it is a prism. But on the left-hand side here, we've got a photograph of the Great Pyramid of Giza here, and this is a completely different shape. You can see that by looking. And the big difference, of course, is that a pyramid is square-based here. We have a square-based pyramid. Can you get triangular-based pyramids? Yes, you can. But the ones we typically deal with would be square-based pyramids. But even if it was a triangular-based pyramid, it still wouldn't look anything like the Toblerone bar there, which is a triangular prism. So this just reinforces the idea of drawing our two-dimensional shape and then just basically stretching it into 3 dimensions. That's all we're trying to push the idea of here versus pyramid and prism. Okay then, so how do we find the volume of our prism? Well then we can simply find the area of that top shape, in this case a rectangle, which is just length times width, and then we just simply multiply that by the depth or the height if you prefer, depends how you're looking at it. So our volume is length times width times depth, and it's measured of course in the SI unit for volume, which is going to be meters cubed. And as we've seen earlier, we have to keep our dimensions all in the same unit. So they all have to be meters, or they all have to be centimeters, or millimeters, etc., etc. We can't mix and match. So if we do get mixed and match values, convert them all to the base units, and then multiply them out. The easiest way to have a go at these, because they're not that complicated to be honest, it's just one formula, is to go straight at self-test number 2 on page 8 and 9 of your textbook, and we'll take a look at using that formula to find out the volumes of these rectangular prisms. If you're feeling confident with this, then by all means pause the video, have a go at it first, see if you agree with the solutions in the textbook, and then when you're ready, come back and see me. If you're not feeling confident for this, then let's just go ahead and watch the solutions, and you can pause as we go along and hopefully it'll help you out. So let's get going here with the solutions for self-test 2. So here's the solution to self-test 2A. The base of a 27.3 kilolitre regular storage tank is 4 meters by 4.2 meters. To what height in meters must the tank be built? Well, I've gone ahead here and put up a diagram here of a rectangular prism just to save me drawing a messy version of it. So I always encourage you for questions like this to draw a diagram. Engineers love diagrams. So let's go ahead and label up what we have on this diagram. So the dimensions of this are 4 by 4.2. So if we say that this one is 4.2 meters and this one is 4 meters. So that's the dimensions of our base. And then what we don't know here is what is the height. However, we do know that the volume is 27.3 27.3 kilolitres. Well, first of all, what's a kilolitre? A kilolitre is 1,000 litres, so therefore 27.3 kilolitres is 27,300 litres. And I know from an identity in my academic supplement that we've seen earlier that 1,000 litres is equal to 1 metre cubed. Well, if 1,000 litres equals 1 metre cubed, then 27,300 litres is equal to 27.3 metres cubed. So we've just proved there basically that 1 kilolitre is 1 metre cubed. And that's another little useful identity to remember. So once we've sorted out that, getting our litres into metres cubed, we can go ahead and thinking about our formula. Well, the formula for a rectangular prism is that volume is equal to length times width times our height. So we are looking for height, so if we just rearrange this for h will equal volume over length times width. If we substitute our values in, that will be 27.3 divided by 4.2 times 4. If we push all that into the calculator, 27.3 divided by, open bracket, 4.2 times 4, close bracket, equals, I get an answer on my calculator here of 1.625, and as that's a height, that will be in metres. So there's the answer here to part A. It looks a little bit of a nasty question, but it's actually quite simple once you spot how to do it. So okay, then let's take a look at the next one. So for part B, we've got a rectangular tank with a volume of 5,000 kilolitres, and it has the following base. So 12 metres by 15 metres. Let's go ahead and label that up. So 12 metres by 15 metres. And it doesn't matter which side you label up as this, as long as we get one and the other on the base. If it's advertently punctured at a height of 1.5 metres, so let's say we puncture it there, 1.5 metres, and it's going to spurt water out, obviously. How much water will drain out if the tank was originally 90% full? Okay then, well originally the volume in the tank is 5,000 kilolitres, and we proved on the previous slide that 1 kilolitre is 1 metre cubed, so therefore this is 5,000 metres cubed. Now the tank was only 90% full, so V 90% is going to be equal to 5,000 multiplied by 0.9 to get 90% of that value. And if we do that, we'll find that the original volume that it was filled to was 4,500 metres cubed. So I now know this bit. The next is I'm now going to work out the volume at this point where it's leaked. So basically, all this volume below this point, I need to find out now how much is there. So I'm going to say volume at the leak is going to be equal to my length times width times height, which will be 15 times my 12 times my 1.5. If we multiply all that through, 15 times 12 times 1.5, I get a volume here below the leak point of 270 metres cubed. So all I need to do now then is find the volume of what will spill. So I'll call this V spill, and that's simply going to be 4,500 minus my 270. And that's going to give me 4,230 metres cubed, which is 4,230 kilolitres. Because again, 1 kilolitre is 1 metre cubed. So that was a little cleverly disguised question there, where we basically had to work out two different volumes and simply subtract one from the other. So if you had a go at that yourself, hopefully you spotted that and you got the right answer. This would be a very common sort of question for a provincial exam here, as it sort of makes it more realistic and we can work out something that could happen to us in the real world. Let's check out part C. The water tank on a newly designed engine is 30 centimetres wide, 5 metres high and 12 metres long. What is the capacity of the water in the tank? So if we label it up, we've got 12 metres here, we've got 30 centimeters wide, and our height is 5 meters. So this is a basic straightforward question where our volume is equal to length times our width times our height. However, all of our dimensions are not in the same value. That is, we've got a centimetre one thrown in there. So we need to convert that centimetres to metres. So it's going to be 12 multiplied. There are 100 centimetres in a metre, so 30 centimetres is 0.3 metres. Or if you prefer, that's 30 times 10 to the minus 2. Then times that by 5. If we push all that through the calculator, 12 times 0.3 times 5 is equal to 18, and this is going to be in meters cubed. So there's our answer for part C. A very straightforward one, that one, as there was just that one conversion in there. Okay, let's take a look at D. What is the volume in kilolitres of a rectangular tank which measures 12 metres by 500 centimetres by 2,000 millimetres? Okay, so if we label it up, 12 metres, 500 centimetres, and 2,000 millimetres. This is pretty much the exact same question as the last one. Our volume is still length times width times height, but now all of our dimensions this time are not in metres, so we need to convert them. So for the first one, we can leave that alone, 12 metres. For the second one, 500 centimetres. There are 100 centimetres in a metre, so 500 centimetres is 5 metres. Or if you prefer, 500 times 10 to the minus 2. It's the same thing. Then our last dimension is 2,000 millimetres. There are 1,000 millimetres in a metre, so 2,000 millimetres is 2 metres. Or, if you prefer, 2,000 times 10 to the minus 3 is the same thing. So what does that work out to? Well, 12 times 5 is 60, and 60 times 2 is 120 metres cubed. And as we've seen previously, 1 kilolitre is 1 metre cubed. So our answer in kilolitres is 120 kilolitres. So there's another typical sort of one to check on your unit conversions. So that's it for part D. Let's take a look at our last one here, which is part E. How tall is a rectangular tank that has a capacity of 200 kilolitres and a base dimensions of 3 metres by 4 metres? Well, if we label it up again, there's our base, and I now want to find the height. So we know the volume is equal to 200 kilolitres, which is going to be 200 metres cubed, and I know that volume is equal to length times width times height, and I can rearrange to find height, which will be volume equals, height equals volume divided by length times width. If we substitute the values in them, the volume is 200, divided by the length 4 and the width 3. So if we now do 200 divided by 4 times 3, which is just 12, we get 16.667, and as this is the height, that will be in metres. So there's our answer to part E. So fairly atypical questions, that A through E, of what you would be expected to be able to do at both 4th and 3rd class regarding rectangular prisms. As long as you know the general gist, and again I strongly encourage you to draw diagrams for these, it definitely helps me out, we should be able to get to the answers. So there's another very quick, fairly straightforward objective here for objective number 2. Have a bit of a review of this, have a look at these questions, and then when you're ready, come back and see me and we'll do objective 3.